Hello everybody, and today we're gonna play some more Magic, because that's the game I play. Not a big mystery there, it's the one game I do, but what deck are we gonna use? Still undecided, but today I think I'll take out Golgari Aristocrats deck. Something I really like. And Aristocrats is a really cool strategy because you can just put a lot of stuff on the board, you can get some pressure going, and then if the opponent taps out or makes a mistake, you just combo them out with an Nantuko Husk, or you draw a bunch of cards off Smothering Abomination to reload. So it gives control decks fits, and in my opinion, it has to be fast enough and strong enough to get under ramp and punish ramp if they go for a big play. And I think this deck can do it. Now, there's kind of two Aristocrat strategies. You can do mid-range or you can do aggressive. And I think something that defines the more aggressive strategies is a card like Thornbow Archer. You get those early attacks in. And pretty much Thornbow Archer is the definition of the aggressive Aristocrats, whereas the mid-range strategy, in my opinion, is about Fleshbag Marauder, trying to use this. Because if you're playing this card in the aggressive strategy, you're stunting their development, but you're stunting yours too, and you're paying 3 mana for minimal development, whereas this deck doesn't have a lot of 3 mana and 4 mana plays. Like, the curve is really sharp, and most of the action's in the 1 and 2, so that you get a big board quickly. So, let's see. Any little changes I want to make before we spin this thing? I don't think so. Let's take it out. Let's see what happens. So this is a very aggressive version, and that's because when I build a deck, the first thing I think of is, can we beat ramp? And to beat ramp, you've got to put on plenty of pressure early, and you have to be able to push through their sweepers and their big plays to finish the job. Even when that big play is like Nissa's Revelation into Ulamog, you still have to be able to develop a board and push the game through. So that's where I'm at with Aristocrats. I think you've got to be aggressive, stay aggressive. I like the mid-range value strategy. That kind of speaks to my dirtily combo-y roots of things that I enjoy doing, but I don't think it's right if you care about beating ramp, because ramp just loves it if you're dirtle around in the mid-game while they're, getting their Ulamogs and their Rolling Thunders together and to be these massive blowout plays. So we're just going to try to beat people down. The other great thing about Aristocrats, in my opinion, is how it plays against control. It's the creatures and what they do are really frustrating to control decks because, you kill a Blister Pod or you hit them with a sweeper or whatever, they just replace themselves. Evolutionary Leap keeps them replacing themselves. Nantuko Husk is pretty hard to kill. Most of the removal in the format can't do much about it. So the best thing they can do is like Planar Outburst, something like that. So we've got a Panther coming at us. In the past, if I saw this, I'd say it was a green-white aggro deck, so let's see. That, or somebody is a big Hakim fan, as that is the Hakim avatar right there. And if you haven't seen my match with Hakim, do yourself a favor and check that out in my past videos or on YouTube. Happened last night. It was exciting, and with a capital E. It was a blast. Alright. Yep, that'll do. We'll get right to the beatdowns. The 1-1 beatdowns. Ha! And see what happens there. But even little chip shots add up with this deck. It's not... I've killed people on turn 4 with this deck, but it's usually not about that. It's about just being relentless. And all of these cards, they put up little chip shots. Now, what we have here is we have decent fodder. We have great fodder. We have Blister Pod and Thrall and 2 mirrors. But what we need to draw is a way to take advantage of it, and that is an evolutionary leap, that is a smothering abomination, that is a Nantuko husk. So we're going to need one of those. So that's 8 cards. 8 cards that we need to find in probably the next 4 or 5 turns to really take advantage of this draw. Fortified Rampart, okay. That's actually pretty good for him. Pretty underrated card, that Rampart. And we're not gonna, you know, just bust out the Bone Splinters. We're gonna try to make a juicy Bone Splinter Mirror combo if he has the Razorfoot Griffin to go with that Rampart. And we'll just flood up the board. So we got 40 rank on the Rampart, so some kind of white control deck. Knight. Maybe it's blue-white. But that is what we want to see. If you've followed me for any length of time, you know about forgetting that my opponent can hear my microphone when I'm Twitch casting, so I have to step back and I have to make sure that I put myself in a private Xbox party so that they don't hear me anymore. Otherwise, they just know everything I'm talking about. So this is already pretty ugly. We need to draw one of those 8 cards we mentioned earlier, as, you know, we've drawn a few lands, and we don't have much gas left in the tank, so we need one of those 8 cards. Next turn would be ideal, especially with that around. That's awesome. Oh, the one of Mythic Rare. So hopefully we can find another Bone Splinters like really quick. Hey, hello. You gonna amulet me? Not yet. Okay. Not gonna slow roll the land, because if we draw like Smothering Abomination, we can just chain into a bunch of cards, and you want to hit every land drop. But we need one of our impact cards. Our opponent is playing some kind of a white mid-rangey thing, and it is certainly going off with the good cards in the mid-game here. And we are getting outclassed, and pretty badly. Okay, I don't know about that. Maybe he has another? That's the only thing I can think of. I think we've drawn, well, we drew that Bone Splinters. I was going to say we've drawn 4 lands in a row, but there was that Bone Splinters. 3 lands in a row. We're not flooding that badly, it just feels that way because we get to dump our hand so quick. But there's no doubt about it, we could lose this game. Like I said, we need to find an impact card. We have not found one. And our opponent has like some really good grindy cards and more to come. He's playing really defensively though. Like he is terrified of taking damage. Terrible time to top deck a Thornbow. Just living off the top right now, you guys. Just living off the top. So our opponent has Foundry. He can block 2 of our guys. He has a handful of cards. I think we just have to slow our roll right now and keep our board so that if we draw Husk or Abomination, it's a good draw. It's just not a good draw right now. And I am going to sandbag this land because we at least want him to make him think something's up. Do I want to trade a Thornbow for one of his Thopters? I don't think I do. Yeah, we're just going to sit now. And that, you know, feels horrible. Especially he's got a handful of cards. Okay. Wow. Wow. We're getting mono white wrecked here. And our draw is just not worked out. I mean, this is getting embarrassing. Yep. That is the tough thing about this deck. It relies on a few specific cards to run the engine. And maybe I needed to be more aggressive, and I needed to mulligan a hand, you know, that doesn't have Evolutionary Leap, or Nantuko Husk, or Smothering Abomination. Sounds smart when I say it that way. Smarter than I'm doing right now. Well, hello. But if I just put that out, Cub will eat it, so... no good. No bueno. I think that's his second Cub, too. Yeah. Mono White Fortified Rampart. It is a rank 40 for the record, which I don't get one of those every single game. But you just flood it out without any impact cards. Yeah, there's another one. What to do? Well, we'll get this out there, but I don't think I want to play the leap yet. I think I want to try to get to a board. I want to have something to sack and at least get some value off the leap. Opponent says Foundry time? I don't know why it wasn't Foundry time the last 2 turns. Some kind of artifact mono white deck? I don't know. So weird. Uh-huh. You got me. You really got me this time. I can't block. He's going all in. Okay. Tapped his Foundry to do that. Must have a follow-up. Nope. So probably a Celestial Flare, something like that. So I don't think we attack into this situation. I think I still want to give it one more draw to do... because sacking an Nantuko Husk with my leap is going to feel pretty bad. It would be great to draw a mirror and get that Cub off the table, but we've already used 2 mirrors. Liliana would do it too. I think we give it one more turn to get the Cub off the table, and we're going to hold these back because I'm sure that there's something in that hand. Celestial Flare, Gideon's Reproach. We don't want to walk into that. Okay. Wow. Oh, or Angelic Edicts, that's cool too. What you gonna do, buddy? Okay. Do I block to get the Cub off? I mean, Celestial Flare or Gideon's Reproach mean I don't get anything. I think I just hold. Oh yeah, you got me, buddy. Yeah, go ahead, cast it. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright. So let's fire this whole game back up and reload. Interesting. Let's do that. Could have double blocked and tried some trickery, but this will be fine. Okay, let's hit an elf. Please hit an elf. That's a husk. Well, if we have another husk, let's go ahead and keep digging. Maybe we'll hit Smothering Abomination and get lucky. Nope. It's a pod. Or another elf to make that more valuable. Any of that would have been nice, but this game is out to get us, I think. I don't think we have a great shot, but we'll play through. Okay. Would have been nice a turn ago, but that's magic. Yep, you've got more Thopters. Good stuff. And that won't do the job. Yeah. Let our opponent have this one. Well, not let him, but you know what I mean. White flag. You got us. So, off to a rough start, but probably a lesson to learn there about what kind of hands you can keep. A bunch of dorks may not be it. Certainly drew too many lands in a row and then failed to get back into the game. What a weird deck. What a weird kind of white, off-color mid-range deck that, you know, had the Feldar Cubs when we finally got our Evo Leap and Planar outbursted us off the top. Good stuff. Alright, let's try that again. Let's really look for hands with the cards that I talked about. We have to have cards that make a difference and pay us off for playing a bunch of stupid little creatures like we do. So, that's Evolutionary Leap, that's Smothering Abomination, and that's Nantuko Husk. Hand has to have one of those, or we're going to toss it, I think. That's the plan. Wow, Crawford 28 says wow. What was the wow, I wonder? It was a weird mono white deck, but that happens. Hopefully we'll get another shot at that guy sometime. I mean, that deck didn't necessarily impress me, so to speak. I don't know how it would do good against, you know, a decent draw. Or any other deck for that matter. But that's what happens. In Magic you lose sometimes. And I still think it's my own fault for keeping a hand. Like, okay. Let's see. This one has the Husk. So it can get pretty crazy. I think we can keep this hand. Husk is a hard card to answer. There's only a few ways in the format that answer it well. And if your opponent's counting on red removal like many are, it's really tough to deal with. So we can definitely, you know, throw and have a killer Husk ready to roll. Act of Treason, any kind of treason effect, is a direct kill for a Husk, so hopefully we're not walking right into that. That's a good draw. So we want to do something like this. What do you got? Rakdos. Not very aggro Rakdos right now. If it's a mid-range Steel Sack value deck, that can be a headache because we can't do much with Husk there, but we can definitely be wide. Okay, has its own Husk. I can appreciate that. Being wide, though, against Steel Sack is pretty awkward for them. All your creatures do about the same thing. Makes it hard to figure out what to steal with an Act of Treason and what to do. Wanna trade? Wanna trade, buddy? Second rank 40 today, that's awesome. Doesn't happen all the time. No scrubs. Yeah, I'd take the hit too, my friend. I'd take the hit as well. So let's get wide and see how our opponent handles it. Yep, that's right. It's Aristocrat Elves. Dwayne's elite. I don't know. I'll see how many times he comes with a buddy. We have 4 Elvish Visionaries, and we also have 4 Thornbow Archers. Yeah, that's a pretty good choice for a steal. Not doing any blocking. Definitely not with that attack. Yep. There you go. You got a Scion. We're going to slow roll the Husk for as long as we can wait. We want to draw out those active treasons. That's a pretty good draw. So, what we're going to do this turn is blow up his Husk with our Blister Pod. Because I doubt he'll show us a better creature, but I could be wrong about that. Could have Smothering Abomination up his sleeve. At this point, though, we just want to stay on him. And I don't want to trade this off with his 1/1 because it can be 2 damage later to a Husk pump or something like that. And I think we just want to pitch it and get this Thrall out there. I think we do. Yeah, we'll just do that. If he has another treason effect, he'll have to have Bone Splinters. I don't know if it's salty to play a Twin Bolt on you when the game's over. Sometimes you just want to show people what was in your hand or do something, you know, to make yourself feel a little better. I don't think that's salty. Now, if he was, you know, throwing insults at you over Xbox Live chat, then I'd say probably salty. Alright, so an Antuco Husk is back on top of his deck, but that's okay. And it doesn't look like he has a good answer to all this action, so he's going to be hard-pressed. If he spends next turn casting Husk, he's going to be way behind on the board, and we're going to put out our own here. Which, he's going to have to either treason or find a way to stop it, or it's lethal. Note to self, if he casts Active Treason or Traitorous Instinct on my Husk, I have to sack it in response. Because it comes with its own sacrifice outlet. Husk can sack Husk to itself, which is weird. Hellhound. Well, that's going to be stepping in front of a Husk this turn, or else he's just dead. Is he just dead anyway? 2, 4, no, not quite. Dead to a Perilous Mirror. I do think I want to sack the Carrier Thrall, though. Or maybe the Elf Token. I need to sack 2 creatures. Oh, he's blocking over there? That's wrong, dude. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So down goes this Rakdos deck. And that's kind of more of what we want to do. That's a bit more of our style. And that's what a big difference, you know, Nantuko Husk makes, because instead of having all these tiny dorks, you have a lethal threat that they have to block and just throw their good creatures in front of, and over time it just wins the game. Or they could just forget to block it like that and die. But I wouldn't count on that. Smart players shouldn't do that. Game 3 coming up. Haven't really gone nuts with Evolutionary Leap or Smothering Abomination yet. Hopefully those cards make an appearance. It's definitely the reason I enjoy the deck. While we want to put up a fine aggressive strategy like we just did, even more so, I love just going nuts and drawing a whole bunch of cards with Leap and Abomination. But it's all in the spirit of getting the game over with, so... Not gonna need it in every game, and that's fine. It's just amazing how good Nantuko Husk is, though, with a good board and a good aggressive start. Hey, T-Shirt, welcome. Mr. Shirt of the, oh, rematch! This guy wants more. So, what do we know? We know he played Rakdos, and we know he uses treason effects, and we know these hands are bad. I guess we just have to draw some gas. We need to draw creatures off the top. Now there are, I believe, 29 of them, or 30 of them in the deck, so seems like a safe bet, but if we just draw more land, it's not going to be very good for us. T-Shirt is of the Hakeem Invitational fame. He's a part of that tournament as well. There's a Perilous Mirror. Decent card against us for sure. Oh, wow. Sometimes, man, you mulligan and the game just has it in for you. Our opponent doesn't seem to be having any trouble, so this is a vengeance game for them, and at this point, things are looking pretty bad for us. No attack, okay. Don't know what you're afraid of. Do we run out of Blister Pod when it'll probably get stolen? Yeah, we do, but we could kill the Husk. Actually, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll get rid of that Husk right now. One of the problems with going off with Smothering Abomination in this matchup is that he can steal it. So we have to make sure that we keep sacrifice. Ooh, that's brutal. We have to keep sacrificey things away from him. And just take that, because we might have to run out of Abomination here. That's pretty bad though. We're pretty much dead. We need some amazing draws. Okay. It's pretty amazing. Borderline amazing. Might have to take more damage here. The plan is to chump Leap. If he has a way to kill it or try to steal it, that won't work. Rogue's Passage does not come online because he has a gate. That's too bad. Okay, we want something like a 1-drop. Yep, let's get the chain rolling. That's pretty good. But we have to be careful. He can start Rogue's Passaging us with that next turn. But I think this turn we want to set up our Visionaries and get on our Vision quest. And then hopefully the turn after that we can drop Abomination and draw into another Bone Splinters. At least that's my grand plan. That's a lot of land. At a time when I do not need them. I need spells. I need action. Let's see if he uses Passage. He should, I think. 3-turn clock? I would. Maybe I would. He can't have that much good stuff in his hand or he'd have played it. Yeah, here it comes. Ouchie, ouch. Alright, so 2 turns, and we gotta dig deep on those turns. So I'm not going to leap this turn because I'm going to want to leap with Abomination on the table. And we're not going to play that guy out. Because we're going to want to sack them both to use leap skills. Because we need to draw Obnixilis or another Bone Splinters. Oh, that's nice. I'm just dead. Yeah. So not having a good day today. Yeah. And no bone splinters. None there. Not there. Yeah. That one was dead. So we're off to a rather poor start here. Now I have 3 aristocrats decks. There's a black-red one, and there's the green-black one, and there's blue-black, and I think blue-black has the best record and is probably what I should have played. Because green-black is not, I don't know. We've had 2 really awkward draws. That was kind of a bad mulligan game, where we also, I think, drew 3 lands in a row and we just needed to kind of draw any kinds of creatures. So, just some awkward games so far. Let's see if we can smooth that out. Maybe we'll get another rematch with Mr. Black-Red. That Duststalker was a beating, too. I have another green-black deck too. That's probably better than this, which is more of a control value deck. So, you know, if this deck doesn't do well today, we'll probably just delete it. In fact, if I take another loss with it, we'll probably just delete it and focus on a different deck. I don't have a lot of patience for decks that, you know, can't compete. Especially, like, the matchups we've played. We've had some awkward hands, but if it's the deck's fault and not just the hand's fault, it's gotta go. Can't be losing to mono white mid-range, and can't be losing to Rakdos, whatever that is. Kind of a Steel and Sack Duststalker colorless deck. I don't know who CTG is, just picking on you. Salty Kratts is fun. It's just, I don't think you can really be 3-color and expect to curve out and beat ramp decks. I think it's a bad way to go. I don't think that 3-color is where you want to be in any kind of aggressive strategy. And if you're a mid-range strategy, then you're probably already disadvantaged against ramp. So that Salty deck can get some amazing draws. It really can. And it is fun to play. So you should play it, and you should have fun. I think I've got to be 2-color and a bit more aggressive if I'm going to take out ramp, which of course we haven't battled yet today, so I'm kind of paying for it so far. But we'll see if that keeps up. And hey, maybe we have a ramp deck. Gate Creeper fetching Forest, probably mono green ramp. And we are behind the 8-ball already. So we gotta get to work. If they're mono green, they don't have a board wipe, which means we just go wide as we can go. And we have a hand with 3 payoff cards, Nantuko Husk, Smothering Abomination, so those all take advantage of our little army of dorks. So it's a better hand than we had in a previous game. Oh boy, retreat. So he's gonna erase our damage with his life gain. That's okay. I think we just want to get out Husk. I think we want to start getting scary with Husk as soon as possible. Again, it's mono green. At least everything looks mono green, so we don't have any board wipes to worry about. We can just throw the whole book at him and make him come up with a way around it. This is like Elf Kratts. Yeah, I made a deck that was like going all the way with the elves, with Lysalana Huntmasters and Dwynnin and Shaman of the Pack, and then used like the Nantuko Husk combo kills as well. I I never actually played with it. I built it and I just looked at it and I was like, this won't do any good. So it got the axe before it really got a chance to shine. It would have been really nice there to draw on an untapped source for Smothering Abomination, but oh well. Alright, so we're just going to keep turning things sideways. Get him dead. Okay, so he's gonna block like that. I can dig it. You probably should have used that Gate Creeper Vine though on the 1/1. So we're sacking the Carrier Thrall here to do the damage because we're also gonna play an Elvish Visionary off it right here, and just keep pressing down on the board. Because we just need to get everything in our hand onto the table so that it can win us the game. And GA, if you want new deck ideas, it certainly has enough of them. You can go to any color combination you like. You can go over to the NGA deck list thread and you can find submissions from the community for hundreds of decks, I'm sure. I haven't kicked back and done the math on that, but I'm sure it's right. I'm sure there are hundreds of community decks there. Alright. Hello. So this turn's gonna be interesting. It's tempting to just ob and kill something and swing with Husk. The Husk isn't a lethal threat though, and I'd rather, I think, get Smothering Abomination out. That makes Husk a legal threat and we start drawing cards. So I think this is what we do this turn, especially since it's a flying threat that he will have to deal with. And Obnix is just going to be like one in the chamber. We'll fire him out there if we absolutely need to. And he's got to stop this. He's got to stop the Husk. Yep, that's what I'd do. So no need to sack anything yet. The odds of drawing into a Blister Pod or Thornbow Archer and the benefit we would get from that, really not worth it. Zendikar Royal. Well, if he has a bunch of lands, I'll give him chump blockers. And he has the retreat, so he's kind of going off. He's getting crazy. But how will he turn the corner on us? That's what I want to know. What's he gonna do? He's not gonna attack. Bone Splinters, Evo Leap. Oh, we can't clear the way just yet. It's going to be important to keep getting creatures onto the table. Let's get this out there, and let's turn our Husk and our Abomination sideways. He has to block Husk, which means I have to sack to it. Yep. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this is interesting. So, what do we got there? 9 toughness. We could sack our board, and we could draw a bunch of cards. But he just makes another 2/2 next turn. I think actually what I want to do is this. And not take out anything. Doesn't seem that great. Let's at least do this. Let's make some use of these guys, because I think we can draw into another creature to play, but that's not it. Please give me another creature. Please give me another creature. Hey, that's a creature. So I can do this. That's another creature too. Oh, nice. Oh, looks like auto block didn't work out for me. Oh well. Life goes on. So that was probably a big cluster, but oh well. What should I have done different? I guess I think I have auto blockers on. I think I needed to set that up myself. I should have known that would happen with Husk. And Renewal is gonna go apeshit for him here. Like, wow. So we got trouble. There's no doubt right now we have trouble. Can we power through it? I think we can, but this is gonna get ugly. Oh, he's making a giant dude. Okay. Okay. That's fine. He should know better though. Nissa's Renewal is, for some reason, an absolutely busted card in this season because of all the tricks with landfall. It's the turns you can have with it are obscene. All right. Cool. So we'll go like this. And this. And we'll do this. And we'll just set up a big wide board that's hard to get through. And I think we can attack. If he attacks, we can go block, block. Yeah, we're okay. Also still at 13. If he attacks Lily, I think we just let Lily die. But we'll see what he does. Lily is, contrary to what a lot of people do, yeah, there are plenty of times to make her do the discard effect in this game and in this deck, but oftentimes in this deck she just gets something back, and that's usually fine. So let's see what we hit here with Nissa's Revelation. What do we get? Maybe it's not that obvious. Never a good sign. Usually they're like, Outland, Bellower. That's a good one. That's a good one. So mono green going off here, and like I said, we're gonna drop this deck if it loses one more, because we can't be losing matchups like this. We should be winning matchups like this, and if you're not, you need a different deck probably, because plenty of people are gonna have mono green ramp. Plenty of people are gonna have, you know, the decks we played today. They're really obvious. You gotta be able to beat the obvious decks, or else what are you doing? What are you really doing? Okay, what are they gonna do? I was gonna say we were ahead on board, but we're well behind now. He's going for me. He's going for Lily. That is fine. We're just gonna let him have Lily. We don't have anything we want to discard. Okay, so we have to dial up the pressure. Now he has Bellowers, so he can go get Reclamation Sage. Not a lot I think I can do about that. Yep. Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So we want to do this now. Wish we could have done better than that. Mirror, okay. So we're gonna run this guy out here, and it's gonna get attacked, I believe. Now we're dead to a Gaia's Revenge, but oh well. Oh frickin' well. Hopefully he'll attack Ob here. Give us another turn to go for the kill. But if he has Revenge, it's over. Another Nissa's Revelation might do it too. Yeah, Jotty. Life gain. Life gain as a strategy. It's so sad to see. Yep. So I probably lost this game when I screwed up that block thing with Nantuko Husk way back when. Because having Husks around would be really nice right now, but I doubt I'd get them through. It would really change kind of the temperature of the table. But, you know, what can you do? Nissa's Revelation with landfall mechanics is a real beating, and then oh wait, Nissa's Renewal, I mean. And then he hit the Revelation. So he's in good shape. Now there's Revenge. Okay. I'll say goodnight, Golgari Aristocrats. I don't think you're good enough. He's gonna fiddle around, I'm just gonna concede. I'm all about play it out and making sure he does things right, but really, if you're just gonna dick around with who attacks me and who attacks my Planeswalker there, I deserve to lose. Like, that game's over. Even if he screws up, it's not, you know, it's not worth hanging in for. So let's say goodnight. Dun, 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 dun. And let's try a different take. So. Let's check this out. So that's why we test decks. Sometimes they do really good on paper, or they do really good on iOS, and then, you know, we take them out here and they just get railroaded, steamrolled, destroyed. So let's see. This is a really aggressive cut for this particular deck. Do I want to keep it this way, or based on what just happened, would I rather have like Flesh Bags and Vampiric Rites and some tricks of that nature? I think I would. Like the Thornbow Archer kind of approach didn't work out. I doubt Welkin Turn would really work out. So that kind of straight up full on in aggression just not quite paying off. So what do we want? I know I want some of that. And we're going to try more of a mid-rangey thing. Because if we can't aggro fast enough to get around ramp, then it's not worth aggroing. You don't have to win every game, but you have to be competitive. I really felt like we were out of that game for way too long for my taste. Alright, so this has all kinds of early, like this can combo you out on turn. I think 5 is the earliest. Maybe there's a 4, but I think 5 is the earliest you can go here with comboing out on Husk. And it can take a plenty aggressive stance in any matchup. Vampiric Rites give it some grind factor, and Flesh Bag. Spy Network definitely gets grindy, so. We don't have any way to deal with enchantments, though. We just have to kind of overpower it. Well, let's see what happens. I know the last time I ran this deck, it didn't lose hardly ever, but it played against a lot of bad opponents, and that's the absolute truth. You know, played against too many Razorfoot Griffins for the information to be reliable. So let's see how we do today. Dear viewers, thank you for hanging out. If you'd like to read more of my ramblings and kind of endless blah 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 that I have for Magic Duels, I have a blog where I link to these videos and talk about the results and things like that, and it's called Duels Diaries, and it's hosted by my company's site, hauntedflower.com. So if you search for Haunted Flower Duels Diaries, I'm sure you'll find it. There's also a link like in my profile on Twitch or something if you're looking. I also try to get in and stream about once a day. I try to. Put up about an hour and a half or so of streaming each afternoon about this time, so if you just like watching some dual streaming, you can follow me, and I'm also trying to port videos over to YouTube. I don't know how that'll work out, but you are also welcome to go check out my work on YouTube. And today has not been normal. Today we are getting smoked. And this is kind of, part of this is the curse, you see. I am cursed. I am playing in the Xbox One Invitational Tournament, and last night was my match with Hakeem, which was very, very intense. And without spoiling that for you, that's on my Twitch channel and YouTube if you want to check that out. If you're a Hakeem928 fan, you know that name. He's got a lot of YouTube subscribers, a lot of Twitch followers, and he was in the tournament, I was in the tournament, and we did battle in the undefeated bracket to see who would stay undefeated. And I won't spoil it for you, but the curse is this, my covert curse. After I have my tournament round, I usually lose almost every game I play for 24 hours. It's a combination of I play bad and I just seem to have completely spent all my luck. So, as much as I think that Golgari Kratz deck list is partially to blame, because it just, it wasn't fast enough and didn't have enough oomph, didn't have enough going for it, too many awkward draws. Part of it also is the curse. I'm not allowed to win many games after my tournament matches. I usually have 24 hours of what a basketball player would call a shooting slump, where I just go out there and lay eggs. And apparently now we're getting double the payback because we can't get into a game. Freaking Magic. Freaking duels. Alright guys, come on, why can't we find a game? Usually within 3 we find one just fine, within 3 restarts, although there shouldn't be any. T-shirt, I think you mulliganed to 3 and you almost beat me. You were within a turn of kicking my butt, so I still count that part of the slump. Yeah, T-shirt battled me in two games last night that I was able to win, despite the curse. Maybe the curse only applies to randoms, dude. The curse doesn't apply to my friends. I still beat up on my friends, but when I go out here and go pubbing and play the randos, I just get rolled by, I don't know, mono white mid-range or something like that. So what's up? Why can't we connect? Our server's down. What's the matter? See if this opens up on time. Can't get a game. For poor sportsmanship, huh, Nighthawk? Yeah, that's that would be interesting. I would see them blocking me because I'm pretty hard to beat. At least most days I am, not today. But for poor sportsmanship, that would be something. That would be something. I don't know what I could have done to inspire such behavior. So I'm, Nighthawk's just giving me grief, of course. He doesn't mean it. In fact, it's probably what he means to say is I have too much sportsmanship. I will say this, sportsmanship is easy when you win a lot. It really is, and that sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm pretty good at this stuff. And days like today when you're losing, if you can still have a good attitude, say good game, and be cool about it, I think that speaks a lot more than, hey, I top decked the most amazing card in the world and I won. Haha. It's easy to have sportsmanship on those days. It's a lot harder when things aren't going well. Well, they've thrown us an underhand softball in a 1 rank, but we'll see. Maybe they'll still beat us. Oh, if Jace dies, we have nothing. And I mean nothing, but I want to do it. So we're going to. We'll see what the 1 rank can do about this. Alrighty, let's get it going. Jace is a full plate armor? I don't think that's armor. That's just the fashions of the times, That's just, if you lived on that plane, in that time, everybody just wore these funky collars. I mean, is that armor? I don't know. I think that's just also like some kind of bitchin' blue mage fashion. That's what it is. It's just, Mr. Hoodie. Hey, did that really just not pass priority because I had my card zoomed? That's interesting. That's interesting. So people complaining about hold priority, all you gotta do is zoom a card apparently, because it didn't pass the turn. I thought for sure it would while I was doing that. Akron Jailer, oh no. Oh no, not the mono white again. Not the Akron Jailer. Please, whatever you do, don't tap my creatures. Please, don't do that to him. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, Jace, you have to live. You are our only hope because this game is like on a mission. It is on a mission to mess with me today. Is this even Jace up here? Like, I know people call it Homeless Jace, but, I mean, is that Jace? I don't think that's Jace. When did Jace get those face tattoos and those contact lenses? That's the dude from Assassin's Creed. That's who that is. Yeah, he's a pretty bad jailer. Now we got Feldar Cub, so that our vampiric rights suck. It's all very sad. It's all very, very sad. Get Husk out there. Oh, pause. Hold up. Hold up. We might want to destroy my vampiric rights while I'm tapped out with a Husk on the stack, apparently. No, that would absolutely be the wrong thing to do. And we're gonna just keep Jace untapped. To block a jailer, maybe, if he taps out and does something ridiculous, but most likely that won't happen. Oh, please don't jail me. Please don't jail me. I just feel so sad for you that you'd spend your whole turn tapping one of my creatures. This is our confidence rebuilder, guys. Oh my goodness, look at the curve. Look at the mono white creature curve with Lantern Scout, Feldar Cub, and Jailer. Oh my goodness. This is our 1 rank, and they're going to curve out perfectly and put us in trouble. Oh, here it comes. So I'm going to check my next card. There's a chance. Oh my. Oh, that's not good. Do I want to trade Husk here to keep Vampiric Rites? He has a Jailer to tap it down, so it's not like it can be great. You know, I don't suppose that there's no Husk or Rites, Husk or Rites. He's gonna curve out this aggressively, then we need to be a bit of a control deck. And if we're gonna be a control deck, we're gonna want our grindy Vampiric Rites card. But if he just has another cub, it's all for nothing. So this is actually a pretty interesting call. I'm gonna put it back on him and see what he wants to do. Yeah, he's gonna let it go. So maybe he has another cub, and that would be really bad for us, but jeez. These draws. Oh, where are my creatures? Come on. Do I flesh bag here? I'll just sack the Jailer and hit me with a Scout. Is that gonna... I mean, that's not gonna get any better, though. When am I gonna get rid of the Jailer? I guess I have to draw a Perilous Mirror to go with the Splinters. I guess I let it go another turn. Because next turn I can flesh bag and sack it to Rites and flip Jace, and yeah. We can get more out of it next turn. But let's see, you got a Regulars? You have some awesome turn 4 play with your super curve out mono white deck. This is a reason, though, why I keep considering cutting Bone Splinters from these decks. That you'll get these hands where you just really don't want to give up the creatures you have on the board, and Bone Splinters is your removal, and that's really sad. Oh, that's a good draw. So I definitely want to get this hand in, like, back in order, so I'm gonna loot now instead of trying to flip Jace. Okay. Don't want to stay flooded, that's for sure. Now we can get Rogue on. Yeah, we'll sit like this. Hopefully we can get to a Perilous Mirror so we can Bone Splinter Mirror and wipe his board, and then Flesh Bag takes out something juicy. Okay, ally party. Now what? If you attack me with that Scout, I'm just gonna take it. Yep. You got it, buddy. Let's see. You're rooting for the Baby Seal this game? I mean, it's got a good draw. I haven't had good draws all day. I mean, you can cheer for the Baby Seal if you want to. I'm not offended. I used to be the Baby Seal. It was a long time ago, but it happened. We've all got to stand up to the bullies sometimes, Jace style. So how can I start extracting the most value off of these boards? Let's start with the Jace flip. Well, Jailer, you gonna lock me down? He is. There's that Jailer doing work, you guys. So, we're gonna try to grind him out. Now we're going to do a bunch of block and sack and draw and block and sack and draw and block and sack and draw, because I think that'll be good against his deck. I don't think he'll have a lot he can do about that, so we're taking a really not aggressive at all route, which, you know, we've been aggro all day and getting rocked, so it's probably a good change. Yep, here they come. No. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe. We'll try to pick off the Lantern Scout and see if he has anything to do about it. If he does, we'll draw some cards. If not... Okay. Cool. Gave up his Lantern Scout. Not a good day for the Seal fans, you baby Seal fans out there, when you're just throwing away your Lantern Scout. Alright. So, now he's down to one bear that we can get here. Pause. What? What do you think you're doing to my bear? I'll tap your Whirler, rogue. See how you like them apples. And I think we can bring the squadron and start getting to work on that life total if he's not going to put more on the board. Miria Shepherd. Awesome. Welcome to the party. Now, I mean, maybe he doesn't realize it being a baby seal and all, but I think there's a Bones Players in my yard and a Jace that can flash it back, so playing that for no value is just throwing it away. But he doesn't know we also have another in our hand, I'm sure. That's what happens when you're a seal. I think we'll play out of the hand here. Because we still have a use for a Jace uptick. And we can bring the noise. Do I want to trade for a Jailer? Well, he can just block anyway, so I can hold the Scion back. Like, he can block it with the O2, so there's no reason to attack with it. What else you got, buddy? Let's go seal. Pass. Okay. Draw some more cards. Gain some more life. Grind this game into the dust. Ah, there's a card we wanted. Where you been, Mir? Oh wow, you got me there. Tried to activate it, and I think we've all been there in this game at this point. You try to activate your Foundry of the Consoles or one of your lands, and look what happens. Not looking good for the baby seal, you guys. Not looking good. They learn from suffering. I know I do. I hope so. I hope so. I hope we're teaching an appropriate lesson. Then again, maybe they also just smash their controller on the ground and uninstall the game and never give Wizards any money. Maybe one day I'll wake up and find that that's the case and Wizards has been tracking me and my account is blocked for smashing noobs. Ah, I bet he does. I bet he totally had me if he had only gained some life. Yep. We want to give him a medal. He hung in there. He took some beating. We definitely played the slow game that time. Kind of have to know when to play which one, and definitely anytime somebody's going to play mono white and curve out on us with Akron Jill or Felidar Cub, we'll just control them to death. No worries. I'm running for a drink. Hopefully we'll have a game when I get back in the room. Look alive. Got a game. Oh, we got an opponent. Happy day. Happy day. Let's battle! Engage in glorious combat. Okay. Yeah. Let's rock it. I'm trying to show the new players what they can do, man. I'm trying. I have a blog. I write about this stuff. I need to go read it. And maybe they can learn some skills and build some awesome decks and win. Yeah, there's that Jotty. Okay, so we're probably going to play a green ramp deck, maybe red-green, and we're going to see if we can, if this mid-range-ish type Aristocrats approach can grind out against such a deck. Because that's a big test. That is a very big test. Probably should have attacked before playing anything there, just to see. I mean, of course he should block, but maybe he wouldn't. That would have been the smart thing to do. I'm too concerned with opening my soda, getting my guzzle on. So, yeah, this is definitely a case where Bone Splinters... Well, we'll see. If he goes for an Outland Colossus, we'll be glad we have it. So I can kill Jotty by sacking... Nah, not gonna do it. Just gonna lean into the board some more. Missing land drops, though. Not good. If we get mossed here, I don't like our chances one bit. Royal. Well, we saw in a previous game what a mess Royal can be. But it'll at least make sure we have some targets really soon. It's unfortunate we didn't draw a black. Get that off the table before things get too nasty with a Nissa's Revelation that's already going to be nasty. Another blue. Wow. That's pretty mean. So we're choking on black mana, and if he hits an Acid Moss, it's pretty much lights out. Not yet, though. Not yet. Jeez. So this is all kinds of bad right now. Glad to take that block. We do have flesh bags in the deck. But the Zendikar royal. It's gonna be a headache. And there's a plated crusher. So what do we need here? More black mana for sure. We're just kind of... my goodness. It's brutal. It is brutal right now. The game is not on our side today. It is the curse. I blame the curse completely. If you're interested, the black sources and blue sources are split down the middle. I believe it's 8 and 8 or 7 and 7 of each, along with with 8 dual lands for blue and black. So this shouldn't, this is a rarity. It is not a regular occurrence, that's for sure. And look at him go. I mean, this guy's getting to work. You gonna bring that husk over? Because if you bring that husk over, I'm gonna eat your plated crusher. Okay. Nom. Okay. He doesn't have life gain out there. If we just save our board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I come up a point short. Let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1 point short. So we can't go for the big surprise. We just have to run this out now. Yeah, that's what we have to do. And we have to get a point in this turn. So we will send in Thrall because we can leave our Husk back. And now we can use this Bone Splinters, but then we're a point short again from lethal next turn. Because we need that too, and then we need the rest of it. But it's really tempting to get rid of that Curd Chieftain, because that does account for a lot of damage. But I'm not gonna. We're gonna try to do lethal next turn, even off this weird draw. So yeah. Game's been out to get us, but we are presenting a very dangerous threat, and he has to have some removal, some life gain. He has to have something. That might be it if he has a mountain. You got a mountain? I mean, that represents a lot of damage. Do you have the mountain? It's a Looming Spires. Well, that will deal 2, and he has to hit the rogue. Well, he doesn't have to. If he just moves a few things off the board, he's in better shape. And we have to top deck something. But if he removes the rogue, it's a big problem. Okay. Okay. So we'll do it like this. That's a good one. He's going to get first strike and trample. What are the odds we can combo him out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. We're not quite there, that's for sure. So do I protect my life total? I don't think I do. Ugh. Man, just brutal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Only one black mana. Probably got me. Just needs about anything. Ah, that'll do. That'll do. Oh, what a day. My goodness. Yes, t-shirt. It should be in the deck. I've played with it plenty. There's plenty of lands. I mean, that is an abnormality, and just because something's abnormal doesn't mean you need to fix it. It should be in the deck. I mean, we were within, I think it was 1 point of winning that game because we had a Foundry out there. For God's sakes. Sometimes you get unlucky. Let's see. What is going on? Can we fix it? Been a rough day. Been a rough day for my Husk Decks. And my controller doesn't work? Okay, there we go. So, that was a weird game. I wonder if I should just take it out again, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one having a weird, bad day. I don't know. Let's just go get some more with black, blue and see what happens. Nighthawk, I have tried every different version of Kratz, including Jund. And Spy Network actually does really good, so if you haven't tried that out, you should. It can do some neat things. Now, I don't know if it quite fits with the full nature of the deck, so I'm not here to say that you absolutely should play it, but it's definitely not ridiculous, as it can take over the game kind of on its own. Obviously it makes more 1/1s, which sacking things is good, and obviously it draws cards. That's good too, and making more Thopters is fun. It's a really good card. I mean, Spy Network, it's one of the only good kind of card advantage type things that we have. So anybody who says why Spy Network probably needs to play with it more. I mean, there are all kinds of decks where I would say Spy Network shouldn't be that great, but it actually does well. I can't seem to build Esper control or blue-white control that does well without Spy Network. Not really well. But maybe you'll get his chance to see it. We'll see. Sure. But again, where's our black mana, yo? You missed Foundry of the Consoles. So yeah, 10 artifacts, but that's enough. You don't need as many as you think you do. Like, I think one of the Esper lists where I was first given Spy Network, I think for a long time it only ran 5 artifacts, but it was fine. You only need 1. But hopefully you'll get a chance to see it. It really, you know, if you see it, seeing is a bit more believing. So here we go. Looks like we're gonna play another Steely Sacky thing. Let's see if he gets aggressive. Or how he wants to deal with a mirror. Fleshbag's gonna be horrible in this game too. It's really complicated lately trying to get the removal to work out right. Fleshbag and Bone Splinters are both arguably not what you want to be doing, especially when you're trying to develop a board. Bone Splinters was like one of the only good plays last season for removing like larger creatures, because the larger creatures cost like 4 or 5 mana, but now most of the large creatures, if people are smart, are, you know, hexproof or can't be targeted or indestructible, things like that, and there just aren't a lot of good targets anymore. How to handle this? This is just a mess. I think we just take it. Let's see now. So, here we go again. Our opponents continue to roll on us pretty hard. Let's see what we can do about it. Let's fight back. And this will make him have an answer. Which, you know, some kind of a steal effect would be a very bad thing, but I don't... Let's see. Let's just see what he does. Okay. I think we just keep taking it. I really do. He doesn't have a good target to use that on, so we'll get it off the table. Yep. And let's see, whatever he targets with his, we get to draw cards, and this isn't going to get better, so we may as well use it. Probably the Marauder. Nope, the Husk. Okay. Might get a chance to see why Foundry's in the deck, because sometimes when you draw a ton of lands in a row, you need creatures. I don't listen to your unspoken rules, Nighthawk. I make my own rules. And I don't even play by my own rules. That's how wild I am. Make my own rules and then I don't even play by my own rules. Ouch. Now what, Bloodflow? What have you got for me? Wow. Is that 5 in a row, you guys? Keeping track at home? It's the curse for sure. Hey, that's better. Just had to push through all that garbage. The top of the deck could be anything, even a boat. I believe that this play leaves him dead to another top-decked Whirler Rogue. Or like a Foundry and a 1-drop. Do I have any 1-drops left in here? I don't think I do. But man, how about this? Is this an intimidating hand or what, you guys? Top deck could be Radiant Flames. That would be pretty sick, wouldn't it, Gemini? Isn't just drawing the Radiant Flames the best when you need it? Oh my... that was so insane. For those of you who haven't watched Hakeem versus Covert Go Blue from last night's Xbox Live Invitational Tournament, do yourself a favor and go check that out. YouTube or Twitch. My channel or Hakeem's. Some awesome duels content for you. Doesn't go for the pump flip. I wonder why. He's holding out, maybe? I don't know. So, we've set up a kill for next turn. He'll have to do something. He'll have to do something about it. You can kill the Whirler Rogue, I think. You can flip Lily. You can get it back. Get back a mirror and shoot the Rogue, and that'll do it. Let's see if he sees the play. Moving in on the board. Moving in with the creatures. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can't kill me. And I don't want to trigger his Liliana and open up that line. I want to make him see it for himself. And he passes. Missed it. He missed it. Well, that's awkwardly too late to be showing off its true potential, but, you know, there you go. If it doesn't make a difference, like in this case he has no cards in hand and nothing he can do about this play, I always do this in my main phase because you can use up too many pauses in combat. And if you use up too many pauses in combat, it will just cut straight to to the next phase of combat, and you won't get a chance to sack your things. I think it's like 4 or 5 pauses that they stop you. So that's why I do all that main phase if it doesn't make a difference, because there's no pause limit, and you get your priority. And so we survived a heck of a land flood and pulled that one out of our butt with the combo. Okay, give me my gold. Thanks for making me think about that for so long. Alright. Let's get back in. I want to try... because one thing that I used to combat Mana Flood in previous iterations of the deck was Salvage Drone, and over time it's been replaced. But I don't know, man. I'm really hating on like Bone Splinters, Vampiric Rites. I don't know if they belong. I don't think 2 of that belongs. I really wish like this. One of the big problems with just blue and black is no Evo Leap, of course, which is something I really love to have in my Aristocrats builds. But alas. So that's card draw, that's card draw. Rights isn't the same thing, that's for sure. Let's see what happens in a world without Bone Splinters. One deck will try to figure out how to kill anything. See what happens. So if we need to just kill some ugly dude, maybe we can catch it on a flesh bag, because we do force them to block a bit. Perilous Mirror can also take out some of their chumpy chumps, and Ob can hit something, not reliably since there's only one, but I want to try it. It just doesn't seem like we get the mileage out of Bone Splinters. Now, what's Jace? Well, you know, Jace isn't doing much of anything in this deck. But it does loot, and that's really what I want from Jace. I don't care if I ever flash anything back or not. Alright, so let's play some Magic. Night, yeah, the pause rule with Disciple is another reason to, if you're going to use your Disciple, just tap their stuff and pump it to the moon before combat so that you don't get paused out there. And yeah, we're not exactly all in on the combo. I just don't think that like Bone Splinters and killing like one big mid-range, like Bone Splinters is best against like mid-range decks or Voltron decks, and it seems so rare that I have to worry about those things anymore. We have a lot of chump blockers if they're not trampoly threats. If they are, we have Husk. It seems like there are options without Splinters, and there's just too many hands where I'm sitting there with like 2 Bone Splinters and 1 or 2 creatures and 6 lands, and I don't want to give up my creatures. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens. You gotta question your assumptions. You can say I need the removal, but if you never test it, you'll never know. This hand doesn't have any of our gas, but hopefully we can get to it. More land. Why is this happening? You're right. Maybe 1 or 2 Splinters is right, but let's first see if we even need any. Let's check that. Let's check out that assumption. He's got a bat. How worried are you about my ingest? Are you scared of the ingest? Hell no, he's getting in there. He has guano. Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, for your amusement. Oh my gosh. It's really getting my head today. I want to cut like down to 20 lands even though I know better. It's all basics too, none of the duels. Crazy. Never skimp on your lands. You should not be running things like 22 lands and saying that cards like Blister Pod and From Beyond make up for it. They don't. Kiora costs 4, so you have to get to 4 mana. And you only do that on turn 4 about between 50 and 60% of the time on 24 lands. Not reliable. Now, draws like this, they're going to happen. And they seem to happen a lot in duels. But you have to take the good with the bad. See, it's not about, mana sources as much as it is about colored sources. And what you're saying, Gemini, is that you have Blister Pod, From Beyond, and Kiora. Kiora is the only one of those that can produce any colored mana whatsoever. And again, it's not reliable. You have to get to turn 4 first. Trust me, your math isn't going to make sense with what you laid out right there. But, that it's all about a vacuum. The math lines up over hundreds and hundreds of games. How many games do you plan to play? I plan to play hundreds and hundreds of games, so I have to stick to 24. But you can have a good time out there with 22. You can have a good time out there with 20, conceivably. Like I said, I'm trying to math it out over hundreds of games, and then this will just happen. Okay then. Well, there's a roadblock. Heh. Alright, let's do that, and then maybe we do that, and then maybe we do that. I don't know. I don't see a lot of removal potential from our opponent. But let's get a board, and let's get some cards moving. And let's not forget that thing has reach. He's probably going to put some counters on it and make my life hard. I'm not going to do Kratz versus Kratz again, Gemini. That was no fun yesterday. And not just because I lost, but because it was literally no fun. It was totally pointless. So no, I'm not going to play your Kratz with my Kratz. No thank you. I pass. It was like, look how much stuff I can draw. Look how much stuff I can draw. Maybe you had fun with it. I don't enjoy those kind of games. I don't know. You're also just going to be advantaged. Like 3-color Kratz decks are going to be advantaged over 2-color Kratz decks because what I give up for consistency in 2 colors, you do not give up, and you have more options and better options than I do in your 3 colors. So, it's not a fair fight. Juggernaut. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Alright. So, this is my deck versus the Beginner All-Stars. Oh my goodness. So let's get some cards moving, please. Oh my gosh. Oh, land. That's okay. It happens. I think I can safely attack. I'm gonna feel really bad if he does anything about my abomination, though. It's really all I've got going in my life. It's all I have. Alright. Hit! Hoy! Shaman in the house. Juggernaut wants to play. So let's do it like this. How about some cards? Oh my god, it's so unreal. It's so unreal. Game after game, you guys. Alright. Alright. So, what do we need to do? Get those out so I don't get stuck in a weird situation where I have to discard them. Let's get you out there. Oops, tapped wrong. I thought I was tapping the Foundry. That could be a big mistake. Oh my goodness. Not my day. Wow. Unbelievable. All right. Jagged Scar Archers as a 1/1. Perfect counter to my Spy Network Foundry of the Consoles plan, I might add. Oh my gosh. Alright. We gotta draw out of the flood here and get to a different stage of the game. About the worst draw we could have, and the second worst. That's great. Alright. I mean, that's something, but he's got the perfect Jagged Scar counter, even as a 1/1. Oh well. Magic. Magic is. Magic just is. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting beat down by like the most random set of monsters. Oh, this is bad. This is embarrassing. That's fine. Alright, let's think our way through this. If I'm getting quiet, it's because I'm actually trying to focus. But it is hard. It is hard to focus when this kind of ridiculous stuff is happening. Alright. It is definitely the curse. It is definitely the curse. As I'm gonna get trashed today by whatever decks anybody wants to pull out against me, but this is not my normal MO, you guys. If this is your first time watching me, you're probably like, this is scrubtastic. I'm not this bad. I don't usually take the Accursed Spirit Giant Mantis Defiant Bloodlord Jagged Scar Archer beatdown. It's just not what happens normally. Oh, don't forget Jugs. Don't forget Juggernaut. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. But it's not over. We're going to try to just build a lot of resources and set up a super husk. See what we can do before this accursed spirit goes the distance. Okay. Well, look at this guy go. He is a drawing machine. Oh my 40. He might take me down, you guys. He might beat me, but he will not tilt me. I will stay in this, and I will battle to the end. It is good practice. It is good practice. Never... Strive to never tilt. Okay, here comes Bloodlord. Here comes a Vine Breeder. Is there an elf in that yard? I'm not convinced there is. And a spirit I can block now, I think. Let me see this yard. This attack might be a mistake. Oh, there is an elf. That's right, the Dead Bridge. Okay. Block, block. Block. Okay. We'll at least make him use it, and we'll draw the card, gain the life for it, so not the end of the world. Here comes the activation. We'll gain 2 more life, draw 2 more cards, and continue digging out of this massively horrible board state. We've drawn half our deck now. We've seen 1 abomination. I think we've seen 2 husks? Whatever we've seen. We're definitely a fight that is crazy. Regardless of what you think of my spy network, it's keeping me in this game. I really have needed those tokens every step of the way. So what now? I think we lead with Abomination and Fleshbag and see what he sacrifices. I think that's step 1. And I think we can sacrifice a salvage drone here. We're starting to get past the mana clump and into some of the meat of our deck, so... And now we're going to start drawing a bunch of cards, so hopefully we can try to set up a way out of this. A Whirler... He's well within like a Whirler Rogue Husk range if we can get those 2 cards together on the battlefield. So Rogue is available here. Let's... no, we're going to hold up Jace. So we've dropped that to 2, the 3/5. Okay. If we do this, we give up our ability to use rights, which I don't really like. But I think we need to take a turn off from that anyway, and I think what I'm going to do is... I'll still have that ability if I sack the Scion. So I'll leave up a rights activation through a Scion sacrifice, which can get us more cards, more life. Jace can jump in front of something, and then flip, or we can, oh, you know what? We can turn off his archer, so that's a good play. We'll do that. And I'm not worried about losing my rights at this point. We make him draw another elf in order to get the play out of this that he wants. Okay. And that doesn't get past the Mantis, so it has to wait. He's got the amazing tech, the Mantis tech. I can't believe you guys are still with me watching this atrocity of a game. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that, Reclamation Sage. Boom, right off the top. Just, wow. Perfect draw. Perfect draw. It's gotta be Thopter Spy Network, right? It has to be. It has to be, Mr. Beatty. You can do it. Come on, Thopter Spy Network. Vampiric Rights. Son of a... Could have used it, don't want to keep the board. And I just discarded the other one, but there you go. Can he kill? He still can't, because we minused it with Jace, he still can't take out the Smothering Abomination, so that's good. Now what? Nothing. Okay. Great. Let's keep cranking out the artifacts. Let's actually sacrifice one of the artifacts. Hey! Alright. We're setting him up now. I believe there's nothing down here. Yep, not a deck that has creatures. Let's go there. And I think... Do we play this? If he draws any kind of removal spell, he can kill up our attempt at the kill. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So we have it. So, let's see. He can't really kill me, but he can gain life. And that can mess us up. But we can activate Foundries, and we'll get a spy token. So we're just going to hold this back. And we'll see if that turns out to be a mistake somehow. Regardless of what happens, I'm immensely unimpressed with my Aristocrats decks today. And, you know, this is a strategy I really like and I've won plenty of games with, so part of it, I'm sure, is the curse. Like, there have just been, you know, some hard draws today have just been sad. But maybe it needs to be more complicated. Maybe 3 colors, either Jund or Sultai, is the right thing to do. Because there have just been so many draws that have felt underpowered in each game. Alright. What do you think that one fog is, you guys? You think it... that one fog. What do you think the one card in his hand is? Do you think it's fog? I would say the odds are pretty good. The odds are pretty good. It's a fog. So do I go for this? Let's start out right here. I mean, what would he hold? Like, if it was a creature, he'd play it, alright? And if it was a land, he'd play it. So what is it? Fog makes a lot of sense. Fog makes a lot of sense. Alright, so what I'm going to do... I'm going to do like a value type attack, or I'm not quite going to go for it. Or at least if I am, I'm not going to wreck my board. So let's see what we can like minimally invest into this attack. And we're going to do this because these still do the damage. So we're going to do the bare minimum of sacrificing possible. And in spirit with that, I think we're just going to run some more Whirler Rogue activations. Okay, come on. Come on. There it is. So that's 12. Come on. That's 15. There it is. So we gave up the lowest amount of our board possible, which was the whole point. Can't say we didn't sniff it out. Let's also see if we can draw into another like 2-drop here by sacrificing and drawing some cards. And just shore up our position. Like one more creature would be nice, because we're not going to need all of these next turn. Yeah, there's one more blocker. Oh, and it pushed me to end step. There you go. There you go. Decide to end my turn for me. But that happens. It's part of the game. I don't know how my opponent can sit through all this. They are brave. So he's got to win this turn. He can't do it. Not unless I'm an idiot, and I still don't see it. I don't think he has the required power. So we're gonna take this one somehow. I can't believe you guys are still watching. Nighthawk, I see you're still watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Oh my goodness, what a mess. What a mess, you guys. And the game is all lagging up. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's just freezing with everything I try to do. So we're going to try to do this in the least amount of activations possible if we can. Oh my gosh. As we almost decked ourselves trying to make this work. And we're going to pull out of it. Despite that really, just a wacky game. Just a wacky game. Oops. I forgot to make my flesh bag unblockable. Almost finished it off in real style there. Oh, giant mantis. Oh my goodness, yeah. Put that in your notebook. Clutch card right there. Oh man, shut me down. Now, for anybody who was saying that Thopter Spy Network isn't very good, I think it's the only way I got back in that game, because getting that extra creature every turn, maybe I didn't get to draw cards off it, but just getting that extra creature every turn bought me time while I was flooding out and gave me sack fodder. So that Spy Network did work, man. But I am not impressed overall with the Aristocrat 2-color decks from today's games. I think that they are better streamlined and more likely to curve out and not have mana issues, but the raw power doesn't seem to be there. Raw power seems lacking, so what can we do? Let's get all deck doctory here, if you guys don't mind. We're gonna take it all the way back. All the way back. We're gonna rebuild from the ground up. And this is what I do when I'm just not feeling how something's going. And 25 lands is probably right, but we'll just set at 24. Okay. So we'll look at green too. The other color that's really good for it is red, because Jund Aristocrats is great for Steel and Sack, if you think that Steel and Sack is important, and that's certainly not a gimme. That's certainly not a gimme, so. We want the best Aristocrats cards. We also want, you know, the best power level, just card cards, and we're still going to consider Jace because the looter ability, the flashback ability. The flashback ability, you know, hasn't been much, but maybe we'll have better spells in this version. Sky Spawner, definitely want to consider. Whirler Rogue is the kind of card we want from the blue side. Probably don't need Thopter Spy Network if we're going to do 3 colors. Doesn't quite fit in. Carrier Thrall is one of those cards that you want. Lily, pretty amazing in this kind of deck. Fleshbag, I just don't know. Consider it for now. Husk, all the way. Smothering A-Bomb, you betcha. Ob is just a great card, so we'll consider it, but it doesn't have to be in the deck, but usually it's just wrong not to play with it. Blister Pod, Evolutionary Leap, Visionaries, definitely the kind of cards that we want. Nissa is amazing. From Beyond is good. We'll just leave it sitting around. It can fetch you Smothering Abomination, but I find so can Evolutionary Leap. It gets you there eventually while generating value along the way. Whereas if you just run this out and it doesn't do enough, but it's kind of like Thopter Spy Network in that way. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. I think Green Warden's too expensive for this type of deck. It takes your whole turn. It doesn't have this nearly as much impact on the board. Don't think any of these really work. Let's see. Don't think any of this is quite lines up. Now, Bounding Crassus is an interesting one. It's not like it's a big value play, but it can work, you know, like with an Antuco Husk, it can tap down their blocker and then Husk swings in for lethal. It's also just a really good card. I don't know. Kiora. This you know, I was about to say it's not the deck for it, but the -2 is actually really relevant because all of your combo pieces are creature cards, really. Except for Evolutionary Leap. But I mean, you'd rather have Husk Abomination, and the -2 gets you closer to it, so we'll consider it for the time being. Mira is a definite. Gotta have them. All the way. I tried it without Mirror, and yeah, sadness. So, we're about 7 cards over, so let's see. Probably the most questionable things would be Kiora, From Beyond, Bounding Krasis, although it's a really good card. It's a much higher power level than the average card in here. We have like no removal whatsoever outside of Fleshbag and Perilous Mirror, but I think that's how we want to do it. As stupid as that, what I just said, sounds. Visionary may not make the cut because while it's great to have a card in the hand and another activation, it's not 2 cards on the board. And Blister Pod, Thrall, Spawner, those are all 2 creature pumps on the board for your Husk. Whirler Rogue. So almost everything in the deck does that except for Visionary. So after we kind of know what our weak cards are, and I'm going to call them out as being maybe Jace, because we just have no spells whatsoever. Jace, Visionary, Krasis, maybe. It's actually a higher power level than most of the cards. From Beyond, and Kiora. Now we're going to look at our curve. And a lot of people look at the curve first and just say, I need to cut a 3-drop, and they focus in, and I think you miss things that way. So we could use a trim on our 3s. Maybe cutting 2 of our 2-drops wouldn't be bad. I find if you have 10 proactive 2-drops, that's enough for a deck. So, but definitely our 3s can use a trim, and probably at least 4. So what do we have there? What did we say? Krasis, I guess. Yeah, that's how Krasis gets cut. Although it is probably a very interesting card for the deck. And something I'd try. I mean, it might even be better than Fleshbag since it hits exactly what you want it to hit, and Fleshbag doesn't. Including Gaia's Revenge. And Fleshbag takes away from the board while Krasis adds to it. I'm going to actually try this. This just sounds crazy. But one thing I don't like about Fleshbag is the way that it doesn't add to the board. It's a good effect, but it takes away from the board, and we really want to be adding. We can comfortably cut Jace now. There's just no spells. And I don't think we need From Beyond. Which brings us down to just a few more cards. And we can cut a Visionary, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 2-drops. Like I said, 10 proactive 2-drops, which is kind of where we want to be. Visionary adds to the hand, but it doesn't add to the board. So this is worth trying. Krasis maybe should be Fleshbag, but I think I want to try it. I've been so dissatisfied with Fleshbag lately. And it's possible that Bone Splinters just needs to be in here, but I want to try life without it. Alright, let's get the mana base. So we're actually at a really good distribution. We've got 11, 11, and 14. Double black, 2, 3 double black, 4 double black. So 15 on... virtual 15 on black if we're adding up our mana symbols. And 3 double blue... 14 on blue, and green is all single, but I count Evil Leap as double because you don't want to have just one forest because you can get choked on mana, so I count that as double green. You definitely want more than one green when you play with it. So that's 15. So 15, 15, 14 is really even distribution, so we need to figure out how to spread our lands perfectly here. And I think we'll do that with the good old Evolving Wilds and dual land approach. That's pretty much what everybody's been doing since this set came out. What am I missing? Oh, it's already down there. The black blues are already down there. So we should be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. We can cut these now. We're not using Spy Network, and our colored mana is too important now. So down to 2. And what's missing? 1, 2, blue, 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 green, 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 and black, black, black. So we've got a little bit more blue, so we can cut 2 of those. Or we can do like so. Yeah, I think that's about right. So how many green sources? One. We want 14 so that we have one in our opening hand. We actually want 14 of each so that we have one in our opening hand 90% of the time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. So we're short one. And that means we'll be, let's see, black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's our 14. And blue should also be short then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 16. Okay, so we have an extra blue. So we can cut, because of the way our dual lands line up, we can cut a blue-green for a green-black. Actually, we can do it like this. So we pull the Evolving Wilds and we put in one of those, and that should do the job. No, because that was already counted as a source. That's silly. What did I do before? I can cut one of the dual lands, or I can do it like... I don't really want to cut another island, because I want to be able to get it off moss. So I'm going to cut one of the Lumbering Falls, because I don't think we're going to activate it that often. I really don't. And we'll do it like that. Okay. And let's see. If you guys are all bored to tears, we'll get back into games in just a second, I promise. And we'll turn this, we turned it into Sultai-Kratz, and we'll see if this version has the power that we're really looking for instead of the rather lame grinded out type approach. Now, we don't have a lot of ways to control the board whatsoever. Pretty much we're controlling the board through mirror, so we are looking to combo off, and combo off really aggressively. And, you know, the other way that we'll control the board is just forcing them to deal with Husk on a regular basis. The flash from this could also be very relevant. If you flash this in when they don't think you have lethal Husk and suddenly you do, I think that might make a big difference. So... we have like no board control, but we're just like threat, jam, threat. So that's the plan. Yeah, it's got strength. It's got no control. I love how it says it's got like about half the possible synergy. It's, you know, it's such a synergy-driven deck that it's really funny to me what those stars say. I look at them for kicks. I made a deck that was, I believe, like all artifacts except for 3 copies of whatever that is, Gyropai Aether Grid, and 3 copies of Thopter Engineer. And it gave it like 2 stars of synergy, even though it was all artifacts. Tutelage can win as your win con. The thing is, do you need a backup win con? Tell me honestly, couldn't you have won any of those games that you played in a different way? I think you could have. I mean, if you're drawing that many cards, you're going to put a Whirler Rogue and a Nantuko Husk together to win the game, or you're just going to go straight over the top of them. And I really believe that. So that's my opinion on the tutelage kill, which I played quite a bit with, you know. DJ gave me that deck like the day he posted it, and I played around with it. I played against Hakeem on the stream that night, and I milled him out, and it was awesome, but I don't think it's necessary. And I am very much a minimalist in Magic. I don't believe you should have win cons that are unnecessary. If you could have won with the cards that you already had, and the other card was just there to kind of make it easier or flashier, then you shouldn't have that card. That's my humble opinion. Maybe not so humble. That was pretty down your throat. Sorry. Alright, we got our colors. We need to top deck some lands. But if we draw 1 land, this hand is off to the races. If it stumbles on land, we're in trouble. Isn't that the way it goes? So we're gambling a little bit. We're less than 50% to draw land for the next 3 turns, but it's close to a coin flip each time. Let's see what the 80 card stack has for us. Gecko Man. Didn't we play him earlier? I think we did. Maybe I'm crazy. I want one of those. One of those would be nice right now. Can I have your visionary friend? Alright, how about a land or a visionary into a land? How about it? Hey, can't complain too much about that. Gemini wants to talk to me about something. Let's see what Gemini wants. He probably wants to play against me. I'm still not doing crats on crats. He's playing me, LOL. No. Not playing crats on crats. No. Are you still in this chat, Gemini? Or do I have to, like, actually type something to you? Oh, he's not in here, so I have to actually type to him. Boo. I kind of want the ramp. What could I do next turn with it? I could put out Kiora, but then if I put out Kiora, he just attacks her down. We'll actually keep this on the table, and we'll put out Husk instead. Alrighty. Let's get our Husk on, make him deal with it. Poke him with a blister pod. And Gemini says he has something saucy. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. There's definitely a school of magic that says, you know, no win cons is most efficient. I think it's a little insane. I think what we want to do is Sky Spawner and just lean in. Also opens up our mana options, and let's get Husk going. Make him deal. Okay. Opening moves. Could be a Celestial Flare, which I played right into. But, I'd rather know about it now than when I'm trying to combo off later. It's very minimalist, and I'm all about that. One of the problems with that is your time. At some point, there is an intersection between the cost of your time and whether or not you should be winning with the minimal of win cons. So, if you played that way, I'm sure that you were in no rush and had all the fun in the world just messing about. But at some point, you know, your time eats into it, and we all have a limited amount of time to really play this game. So I'm really tempted to just shoot that down that thing before he auras it, because, you know, the first thing that we can take away is that's an aura deck. And we can take the chances of him beefing up his skirmisher away just by having a mirror on the battlefield. So I like that, and I think that's where we have to go. And we'll keep the Husk pressure on. We're already threatening a pretty intense Husk. He does have 22 life though, so there's a long way to go in this one. He'll take it. Great. Just keeping the mirror on the battlefield, because as long as it's there, he really can't move in with an aura. And if he does, we get the 2-for-1 value and part of his turn. Solemn Offering. He's going to target the mirror. Oh, we don't want him to gain the life, so we're going to pitch it now. Double Gatekeeper. Great. Double Gatekeeper. And he's out. He's had enough. I think the writing's on the wall too, dude. Alright, so... we can't kill him from here, but we can start the super value train and not miss any more damn land drops. That's all good. So we're playing against some kind of BAMP, Gate Creeper, Solemn Offering, Aura deck. That's like 80 cards. So what do you think was the card that he just couldn't cut? Do you think it was Esperzoa? Just couldn't take that out of the deck? Or you think it was Solemn Offering? He just couldn't bear to cut Divine Favor? I don't know. I assure you I don't know. Oh, double Zoa. Well, let me tell you. Oh my goodness. Lands and lands. I like lands. Yeah. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So if we drew a blister pod, how many cards could we draw? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we draw a blister pod, we win. So we're gonna do all this main phase sackery. And if he goes to 2, all we need is a mirror. So we're gonna live dangerously. Because it's fun. And he's tapped out, so we just want to take a big frickin' swing at him. I think it's worth the risk. It's worth rolling the dice. We'll probably get it on the very last one, because that's how we do. Oh, nope, no dice. So, we'll take him to 2. See if we get punished by a Nissa's Revelation or something ridiculous. Or Revelation. Actually, yeah, that could be very punishing, but I meant Renewal, because that's the card that people more often play. So, all we need is a Perilous Mirror. All we needed in that sequence was to peel a Blister Pod. Didn't happen. But, you know, from 2 life, his options are so limited. A Whirler Rogue is game... Oh, hello. Unless he fogs us. So there we go. Blah. He couldn't cut the fogs from his deck. He just couldn't do it. That was another card that, you know what? I've got this 70-some card deck. I got this 80 card deck, and there's no way I'm taking out Fog, because someday someone's going to go after me with this Husk, and I want to have a Fog. So yeah, this is the seal clubbing tech, is they just always have the Fog. Always. I'm sure he does have 3 more Fogs in his hand. Well, we know 2 cards are Esperzoa, so let's not get carried away. Come on, man, let's tap out for that Zoa. Yeah, baby. Tapped out. Tapped out. Doesn't matter what you have in that hand no more. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Yeah. Alright, so we closed out that ridiculous mess. I'm gonna be really clear. I think the tutelage kill is absolutely stupid, but because I like you guys and because I'm having a bit of fun, we're gonna run it again today because it is fun. So this isn't gonna be the disciplined kind of try hard play testing that you've become used to. This is gonna be let's mill out Gemini. Let me see if he's around. And we'll just do the randoms. He's in a game. I don't want to take away from his game. I don't want to interrupt. Later, shirt. Hope you had fun. It's been a weird stream today. I haven't quite had all of my mojo, but it's okay. The day after a big match like the one I had last night with Akeem for the tournament, I rarely have any mojo whatsoever. I pretty much lose non-stop for about 24 hours. So if you guys are like me, you don't just put Twitch on and watch Twitch really attentively. You probably have it on while you're doing something else. Now, me, I put on Twitch and I play real Magic, or I test real Magic matchups, or I put on Twitch and I read some Magic articles, or I put on Twitch and I do some work on the side. What do you guys do while you have Twitch on? Are you watching and studiously taking notes and really getting into the games, or do you have something going in the background? Are you doing a puzzle? Are you watching Star Trek? You know, what's going on out there? I'm curious. And what they all are doing is being too busy to comment. Whatever they're doing, it's very involving, and that's cool. You guys don't have to get in chat. I'll forgive you. I can live with it. Well, that's cool. Someone's on, anybody who's mostly watching the stream in the chat, though, they're going to be the ones who are like, that's what I'm doing. And the people who are doing something on the side, they're not going to reply at all because they got something on the side to do. All right, let's hit this. Gonna go tutelage combo time. Our opponent's got the do nothing vibe. Frost links with no value. I hope we draw land. Okay, perfect. Because I want to get some more action out on the battlefield. Let's see what he's dropping over here. Looks like a tempo blue-red deck. I never caught the rank. 1. So I want to tick Kiora down, and that's best to do if you have some stuff to put in the way. So I think the play is going to be Visionary and Carrier Thrall. Let's not tap all our black now. Thank you. So we're just going to get our board brewing. It also lets us make even more educated decisions the more you mill. The more you mill, the more you know. Hey. Sweet. Nighthawk, I doubt you have a self-esteem problem. You seem to take all of this. You seem to take all the ridiculous things that happen in duels in stride. You know what I mean? You seem to have it under control. Half writing code, half watching. Yeah, coding it up. Maybe an app, a program, something awesome like that. Cool. And yeah, watching people stream as much as you play. That's kind of a new trend in the world. But it's not uncommon anymore. Happens all the time. People like to watch games as much as they like to play them in some cases. Very different from back in my day. This whole Twitch thing was probably inconceivable 10 years ago, but it's become so popular. I can't think of a good reason not to poke him with my visionary, so we'll do that. At this point, we are a smothering abomination from milling the holy heck out of him. But keep in mind this whole time, like, we could be in this situation but also have a sky spawner down on the battlefield or a perilous mirror instead of a tutelage. So that is kind of what you're giving up by adding a tutelage to the deck. We're a bit more behind on the board than we have to be. And we're way ahead on the board, which shows our opponent hasn't really been able to do anything. Opening moves, my friend. Twin Bolt. Target. I hit the timer. That was rude. Oh well. So, Nighthawk, was that a misplay? Is it a misplay when you're like hitting the timer and nothing happens? Or, you know, I guess I have no proof of the matter. You could say I just hit it too late, but my goodness. It certainly makes me feel and look like a chump. Oh, there I was, looking at chat and getting twin bolted some more. Super twin bolts here. I think that's 3 of them. Mr. Twinbolt over here. Change his name. I demand it. Lynx wants some, Lynx can have some. I'm not playing with his burn spells anymore. He can go ahead and hit me. Opening moves. See what you got. Probably has a counter spell, but we'll put him to it. Nope. And we'll just dig. So we want that abomination, because that's what we're here for, everyone. We don't get it, of course, but we'll take the rogue, and we'll take the drowned catacombs. I know, sacrilege. I didn't take Nissa, but you'll deal with it. Hakeem's inability to draw Twin Bolt was interesting. Did you realize that in that match there were no Twin Bolts and no Acid Moss? It's kind of crazy. Funny how that works. I had a match yesterday with Hakeem, for those who don't know what Nighthawk is talking about, but if you know Magic Duels on YouTube or Twitch, you probably know Hakeem, and we had a tournament battle, and it got it got intense. It was a lot of fun. You can check that out either in my Twitch archives or on YouTube on Hakeem's channel, and on my channel on YouTube if you're so interested. And I would recommend it. It is some quality viewing. It is one of the better matches I've ever seen, let alone been a part of, as far as duels goes. Just in excitement value. And we're gonna keep... I mean, Chandra's just gonna take this creature out. Chandra's just gonna take this guy out, so we're gonna go ahead and go down. And that's what we wanted. Although we don't have a way to sacrifice it, unfortunately. I guess we could dig for one. It's about the same difference. He's only got one card in hand, so he doesn't have really good odds of flipping Chandra here, but it always, you know, it's got to make you nervous. It was a heck of a match. You can call it gentleman's match or whatever. It was exciting. I was thrilled to be a part of it. And the ending, to not spoil it for everybody out there, of the Hakeem Go for Go Blue tournament match. Holy cow. I still can't believe it happened. Like, I've watched his side of it, his YouTube video, and I'm still like, how did that happen? The whole time, I was very convinced I knew who would win that game, and I was so surprised at the end of it. Like anybody else. Alright, let's see if he drew the red card he needed. Nope, just passing the turn. And we still haven't found that frickin' Smothering Abomination. But we'll just get crazy on the board. I'm sure actually he has like a Radiant Flames in this deck. Something like that. Maybe not. You know, probably not. Not with this collection of spells. So does that mean I should just push my Whirler Rogue here? I guess I should, because I'm going to need to have the means to deal with Chandra if it flips. And the best way we can do that is to be big on the board. But, you know, we've got our tutelage out there, and it's just kind of milling around. But you notice we're still, like, we don't have a Husk, and we probably won't have an Abomination. So we're still a ways off from comboing off here. I mean, we have the board for it, but my goodness. Doesn't look like we're going to get to combo him out this game, but there's still a little ways to go. It's just this whole time the tutelage could have been any number of other things. Nighthawk, the tension in my voice is interesting. I won't say it wasn't there. I was certainly kind of hyped up for the match, but I also, I mean, it was like negative something outside, and I turn off the heat when I play matches because I find that when I have the heat dish or space heater on, I zone out. It kind of takes me out of my zone. So I turn off the heat because the cold temperatures make me sharp, and I think my voice was quivering a lot. I could kind of sense it, but I was like shivering while I played. I was really cold. So there was tension. I won't say there was no tension. I won't say there was none of that. But there was also this effect of it's like sub-zero and I'm freezing in the room, but I don't want to turn on the... I don't want to turn the heat on because it takes me out of my game. Alright, so we're just going to try to go tutelage Milltown. We've got him at 11, though. Brah! Take this. That's just so much damage. Twin Bolt number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Blocked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not enough to kill him, so down goes Chandra. To be safe. I mean, I don't know what he could pull out, but we're not having it. We're not having it. And we're going to go for the mill kill as well. We're just going to apply double the pressure. You've got it, buddy. But not before I screw up what you would draw. So maybe we'll cut him to exactly what he needs. Who knows? Maybe we'll mill him completely out randomly. Nope, doesn't look like it. Match doesn't need too much build-up, dude. It was... People were excited anyway, and then when it went down like it did, wow. Just a reminder that it's still Magic. And one thing I can say for sure is I've been on the other end. Like, I've been on the sore end, and I'm very rarely on kind of the bright end of those crazy finishes like we had. And you remember it either way. But you remember the losses as much or more than you remember the wins, that's for sure. I still have some bad Magic memories of some games that went really south in some ridiculous ways. So that was interesting. I mean, Tutelage emptied his deck while we finished him with our creatures as kind of a reminder why you don't actually need the Tutelage combo. But one thing that you can say about the Tutelage combo is that it works when the opponent is going off with life gain, which can be a problem for the deck. Let's do this dance again. Actually, I think I already know. I do think I want Bone Splinters because we have so much fodder, and I think we need an option. And I think we can cut Visionary. And I think I'll bring Crassus back in. Because like I said, you know, it doesn't build the board. It does drop me lower on 2 drops than I like to go, but we have Blister Pod who can kind of fill that role, since most decks in this format don't have a 1-drop. And we'll give Crassus another shot at this role. Alrighty. Let's dance. I've been going at it for a while, so I'm probably going to call it pretty soon, but I'm still trying to, I don't know, just get these Aristocrats decks to a place that I feel better about them. I was really unimpressed, and it could be my bad luck, but usually there's just a feeling that you get when a deck doesn't have the power or isn't putting out the results that it needs to, and that's how I felt with the Dimir and the Golgari versions earlier today. So, even though, you know, we're going to have these games where the mana isn't as consistent in these 3-color builds, or tap lands keep us from having our curve, it seems to have more of the raw power and a lot more of the effect that we want. Getting to run, you know, Blister Pod and Carrier Thrall and Whirler Rogue just builds the board massive and quickly. It is intense. So that's really what we need. We need to be able to kind of reach a critical mass husk and sacrifice fodder with as few of those as possible. And getting to run all of them together does the job. So pretty much a double husk you get kind of a double husk effect off of Blister Pod, Carrier Thrall, Sky Spawner. You get a triple off of Whirler Rogue, you get a double off of Perilous Mirror, and now we have all of those in the same deck. So that's the point. What just happened? It just said joining session and nothing happened. It's a freaking game, you guys. Cow Mao Pow says, hey. Spence Conroy says, where does the word crats come from? Crats is what I use as shorthand for aristocrats, which is the name given to the deck by a guy named Tom Martell in a pro tour that I think was like 2 or 3 years ago. and it was mainly named after Falconwrath Aristocrat. I think there was another aristocrat in that deck, but Falconwrath Aristocrat was the original to my knowledge. Some people might know the story better. I watched that Pro Tour and those events, but I don't memorize the lore like some people do. I'm not the historian Brian David Marshall or Randy Bueller who can recite like anything about the Pro Tour off the top of their head. And here's my gripe with those guys, since we're on the subject and it's my stream. My gripe with those guys is both of them usually spend more time babbling and rambling about what happened in a past Pro Tour or some side story than they do talking about the match that's going on. And then you hear them like saying, why doesn't he do this? Well, he doesn't do it because the other player has this counter to it in his hand, which you would know if you were watching the match that was happening, instead of going on about Pro Tour, a Pro Tour in 1999 that whatever. It just seems like those guys are always stuck in somewhere else and not where they are. They very rarely dial into the match that's happening right in front of them the way I wish they'd like to, which is a problem that Star City Games, Patrick Sullivan and Cedric Phillips do not have. I mean, when you watch their commentary, they rarely sidetrack. They are in that game. All that they talk about is usually what can happen in that game. And that's why watching Star City coverage, I think, makes you better than watching Pro Tour coverage. So anyway, that's my rant, and it all came because I got asked where the word Kratz comes from. I'm crazy. Sorry, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I am so excited on the subject of coverage. This weekend is the first Star City Games Open of the year with the new format, with Oath of the Gatewatch being legal. And my favorite broadcasting team, Cedric and P. Sullivan, will be there calling it, and I'm sure they'll have a lot to say about the new format. I can't wait to see some of the new cards get used. I really want to see a new Eldrazi deck. I think that will be pretty awesome. And I'm just really geeked to watch that coverage this weekend. It is going to be amazing. I have, my man cave is decked out. I have a 42-inch screen in one corner, and about 3 feet to the left of it, I have the 32-inch. And the 32-inch is what I game on because I like a smaller screen for that because of where I sit in the middle of the room. And the 42-inch is what I put the coverage on, in this case the Star City coverage, and I'll be watching that while dueling all weekend, and it will be a blast. Haven't heard a rant like that till you made a dungeon deck. I don't know what that means. Maybe you're talking a Hearthstone thing that I don't get. And what's your favorite card ever? What's my favorite card ever? Nighthawk. Right now I'm going to say Radiant Flames, and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's nothing that can dwarf my love for Radiant Flames. Actually, you know what? I should change it to Rune Servitor, shouldn't I? Depends what Eldrazi combo you think will be a thing in Standard. I certainly think that the return of Kozilek with what is that, World Breaker or World Eater, whatever that thing is, that's gonna be saucy. I can't wait to see that in action. So we don't have any payoff cards yet. We need a Husk, we need an Evo Leap, we need a Smothering Abomination. Same story as other times that we've played, and we're up against like a Teamer ramp deck, so we're gonna have to put that together pretty fast. So I wanna, oh man. I guess I'm supposed to lean into the board, because if he Radiant Flames, at least he loses his own Jace, and I lose like kind of a minimum of board myself, so we'll go like this. Discard, you lose life no matter what you lose life. Maybe I don't know if I know about that card. Oh, rack done. Oh, I think I get what he's saying now. Oh well. I'll just let that go instead of trying to backtrack it all. Well, he's got to have Radiant Flames or Rolling Thunder. What's it gonna be? He's got Jace to dig for it. He's really thinking about this turn. We need to draw a payoff, though. We need to draw a Husk or Abomination here. Otherwise, I don't know about our chances. It's really tempting to activate Lumbering Falls, since a Scion is just going to get blocked anyway, and then we can get in for 9? I think I do that. Because we're definitely at the point where leaning into the board more could leave us in a world of hurt to any kind of big removal, and Lumbering Falls, even if he sweeps the board, you know, that can be a big game. And if we get his life low enough, he'll just have to figure out how to get through that. Fiery Impulse, okay. Sky Spawner, sure. Chumpy Falls, oh, he's flipping, okay. So we've got a good player. He's sequencing very well. So we've got a good one over here against us. And it looks like we're on some kind of 5-color walker ramp thingy. And we are, man, we just have to try to get his life total pretty low so that we can chain some mirrors and burn him out here, because we don't have the cards we need. Let's see if he does Acid Moss, because Acid Moss on Lumbering Falls here would be pretty big. Oh, Scab. Okay. Scab says Fiery Impulse. Okay. That is something that we needed. Get that off the table in case he has a way to recurse it and use it again. Another mirror's good. Ignore Jace, go for the face. That's the plan. Now, we didn't make a lot of strides on the board, so that wasn't an amazing turn, but we stayed ahead. And we just want to get him into a position where he has to extend, and then hopefully we can push through Lumbering Falls and get his life total low enough to finish the game with like a mirror burnout. But this is a good game. We got a good game here. This will probably be my last one, because I love ending it on a good battle. Now this is, you know, some kind of a 4-color, perhaps 5-color control build. And we've got to assume that there are sweeper effects. There's no white, so what would be the point of that? Pilgrimage in a deck like that is really strange. There's our Radiant Flames. We know he has a Fiery Impulse, let's not forget about that. And he has a Jace, so he can get back the Radiant Flames. So at this point, we need to get that hit in with the Lumbering Falls this turn, I think. Then he's at 3, and all we need to do is double mirror him. Although I'm sure that Nissa's Renewal is in the deck, but he would have played it if he had it. He definitely would have played it here if he had it. Looks like he's drawn a lot of land. Okay, there's another Pilgrimage. He has no forests left in the deck. So he's running Pilgrimage with like 3 forests in the deck? Is that right? That's not deck building, dude. That's not good deck building. Yeah, 3 forests. I can't get behind that, but, you know, that's Magic. People are going to do what they're going to do. I don't want to sack my Scion even though it's an 0-1. It may come in handy later. So I am tempted right here though. I can drop the Blister Pod, which kind of keeps the pressure on. Or I can start sacking this and start digging for that 3rd mirror. It's really tempting to dig for the mirror, or Liliana does the job too, to get the game over with before something huge happens. But he's at 3. I think we just play another pod, because all we have to do is get a hit in. That's all we gotta do. Here's the Impulse. So now he can neg it. He can hit the negative button with his Jace. We can sack it and go digging. It's gonna be interesting. This is a really interesting game. And yeah, that guy you don't run Pilgrimage with 3 forests in your deck. Okay, Disciple. Okay, Disciple it is. Now we don't have many we don't have many spells in our deck. Like Evo Leap is about it. So we don't have to worry about him countering things, but he can really put us through the ringer as far as tapping things, which could be a problem. He can't tap the fall. Oh yeah. Do I have the mana for this? I think I do. Yep. Interesting. Quite the draw. And he doesn't have blue open, so this should be it. So yeah, our plan to get him into mirror range worked out. Even the mighty Disciple bends over and takes it from the mirror. Alright. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little bit exhausted, but, you know, we started with a green-black Kratz deck. It wasn't quite doing it, and then the blue-black definitely wasn't doing it, and we ended with Sultai because we decided to go that 3-color route for more power and more synergy, put all the good Kratz creatures together in one big party, and it looks like it's working out. I really liked the last few games. I felt like there was a lot of play to what we were doing and that the opponent had a lot of trouble answering what we were doing. So this is what I'm going to stick with for the time being. Probably the only big question mark in my mind is still Bone Splinters, but having just nothing to remove a creature, like, just leaves you dead to certain things. You know, a big majoring Call the Full Moon Bully or something like that. So we're gonna try that out for now. Other things like Nissa hasn't flipped, but we know she could. She could show up in a pinch. And it gives us a big walker presence, which lets us do more than just, you know, flood the board. If you flood the board and have a walker, the walker can work behind the scenes to win the game, while your board just hangs out. So I like having a good planeswalker presence. Still not running Jace because there's only 3 spells to flash back, and that's really what Jace is good at. But I could be, you know, I could be maybe convinced to get Jace in there. I just don't think I do it at the expense of any of these other sack cards. In fact, it's hard to tell what you could put Jace in for. It's a pretty solid deck right now. Maybe a Bone Splinters, depending on how that goes. Alright, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm going to put this one to bed, and you guys should... would I ever run... Let me check this really quick. Would I ever run Mardu Rush? No. Not happening. But, you know, actually, I never say never. I've tried the Mardu Allies deck, and I'll always try something. Will you ever see me run it on camera? Probably not, because I hate to lose because I have a bad deck on camera. Alright, guys, thank you very much. I will see you around, probably tomorrow, and feel free to check out the archives. If you haven't watched Hakeem versus CGB in my Twitch archives or on YouTube, go do that. It's awesome. And